We're live! We're going to wait until viewers pop in, though, before we start the show proper.
My girlfriend said she's going to go log in.
Yay! We do have the chat, but I can't see it. So,
What do you mean?
we have our own chat server going, an IRC chat server. But
Is your wife going to be viewing and running the chat server?
no, she's in Maryland right now.
She should be watching. I used to think that she was a wonderful wife, now I think she was a horrible person.
Except that, okay,
Does this get
this is
recorded?
all getting recorded. This is all getting recorded.
Yeah.
I can trim the first part out after.
No, leave it!
No, Brittany set up the entire
I-
live show. All I had to do was log in, and it's all set. So Britt's the real superhero. Frank's just trying to throw a wrench in the works.
Oh, your wife's awesome. My girlfriend said she's going to log in. At some
Awesome,
point.
awesome.
She could laugh at me.
Yes. Let me actually see if I can really quickly. Props.com. .com/live. Because we used to have a web-based chat interface. I don't know if we kept it though.
Where is your chat interface now? Not on the web?
You would use like an IRC client. We use XChat on the computer. I know that's why I'm not doing it.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, it's hot all of a sudden.
Give me IRC.
Man cave.
It's because we got the doors all closed. We're all
Hold in.
stuck in here.
Keep the noise down.
I do have an air conditioner that I can, right by the garage door.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like one of those air conditioner dudes. Just gotta vent the thing out. But that's
Yeah, I don't think it's fine.
but I can put it in, like when I do my podcast,
Mhm.
I put it in here for about 30 minutes,
Ah,
crank it on,
Nice.
and then the room is cool for about 10 minutes.
I
10 minutes to 45 minutes.
Oh, I do have. Of course, there's a ridiculous password I have to type in, and then I think I'll be all set.
La 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 la. Bill entering passwords.
Try not to say it out loud.
Dude, I do that all the time when I'm working. It doesn't work till you see your password while you type it.
All right, people are showing up. We're going to get started here. So I'm going to hop in. There are 10 viewers.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm reading email. I have 10 viewers.
All right, I am actually in the chat, so we'll see how long. Sometimes it doesn't last. It'll kick me out, but I'm in there right now. All right. Folks who are watching live, I am in the chat, so if you do @punishprops, it'll pop up, and I will see it. Ew. But for the most part, if you want to get a hold of me, use the Q&A app for your questions. All right. You guys ready to go?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Yes, we're ready.
We have to pause for a moment so that we can cut the first chunk off.
Okay, so
No!
where can I send the people to live chat? Where you at?
He just retweeted his Twitter.
punishprops.com/live.
Why would you cut the first part out?
I'm not. I won't. Frank.
Don't do that.
That was all the best content.
Yeah, that's the, you know.
Okay, it was all candid.
Yeah, the
It
candle
was
stuff.
the only time we were being real.
That's the only time we're ever real.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna start now. And go. Hey everyone, welcome to Prop Live, a special edition of Prop Live. This show I do every week, usually every week. Didn't do it last week, where we take your prop and costume making questions and answer them.
And why didn't you do it last week?
I didn't do it last week because we were busy. We were at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Let's see, Thursday. Oh, it's Thursday. It feels like a year ago.
Thursday, we had just finished your District 9 gun stuff.
No, that was Wednesday.
That was Wednesday?
Yeah.
Thursday, we had just finished my Rancor costumes.
Yes,
was.
and we were going to Woodstock.
Yeah.
And I unfortunately did not go this year. I'm so sorry.
What?
You were here. Stop working for me.
I was actually here working for this gentleman right here.
Hey, check it out. Vex FS in the chat says it's Chris from the Sandwich. This is cool. Great job on the new costume.
Oh,
Thanks.
hey, thank you.
All right.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Good job.
So, folks watching live, if you go to punishprops.com/live, you can join the IRC chat we have there. We got a bunch of people in there having a good time. If you're wanting to send us questions, you go to the event page for the live show, the Google event page.
Coming in.
Questions are showing up over here. You can submit your questions over there, and we will answer a bunch of them. But before we do that, Frank and I are going to tell you all about our Comic-Con adventures. Well,
Ted checks his email.
Ted checks his email.
Well, the old man figures out the technology in Twitter.
I'm still catching up.
Yeah, so we went
Hashtag or hat symbol.
Which is it?
We did. We were just at San Diego Comic-Con, the Comic-Con, the big Comic-Con, and a lot of cool stuff happened. Both of us did some projects for the guys at Tested.com, for Norm and Will and Jamie and Adam and Joey. Don't forget Joey and Drew. What was your project?
I made a Francor.
You made the Francor.
The Francor.
And if you guys have been on the internet today, you've probably heard about it because it's been making the rounds.
Yeah, it was huge. It was immense. It was big.
Yeah.
It took up a third of the shop while I was building
right.
it.
Enormous.
So everybody else on this job had to like scuttle down a little bit while I was building it.
Wait,
Yeah.
Look around it.
And FYI, there's like 7 people back there, 7 people.
It's cozy.
In the ship.
So Frank did this giant Rancor costume. I believe that was one of the aliens in the 6th.
It was one of the aliens in the 6th
In the
Star
6th
Wars.
Star Wars movie.
I don't know much about the Star Wars business, but it was in the 6th one, I think. And it was
Awesome. That was really cool. I got to help him walk around in it. He made it a good 15 minutes walking around on the street.
Well, yeah, but then you got to add
You were in it
trying to
for
like
at least
plug in
half an hour.
Oh, the camera was ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
I pressed the wrong button and all of a sudden it went out.
Yeah. So the Rancor costume he had goggles on with a camera sticking out the nose.
Yeah.
And you could actually see pretty
I could
well.
see great.
Yeah.
Until I started pressing buttons in my sweaty mess in there.
The virtual reality
Yeah.
goggles were super cool.
Yeah.
They were really cool.
So if you guys head over to tested.com, it'll be plastered everywhere. You can go check out the video they put up for that. Norm took a bunch of photos. That was really cool. Not the coolest thing to happen at Comic-Con. No. I did a District 9 gun and costume, and I ran around with that. Frank made a hand for that. It worked really well. The alien hand.
Super cool.
That was on Wednesday. Again, it feels like a million years ago.
Yep.
That was awesome. Still not the coolest thing that happened at Comic-Con.
Then we went to Woodstock.
Went to Woodstock.
Where Will Wheaton was there.
Yep.
Oh my
Alton
God.
Brown was there, and that was not the coolest
Not
thing.
even close.
And then Friday,
We went to a party.
Adam Savage's and Tested.com's party.
Yep. We got to go hang out with some more really cool people.
Alton Brown some more.
I introduced myself to Alton Brown. He's a very awesome person. He's a hero of mine. I got to talk to Adam Savage. We talked about my District 9 gun. That was really fun.
And then Deadmau5.
Then Deadmau5 showed up, which was bonkers.
And that still was not the
Not
coolest
even
thing
the
to do.
close to the coolest thing that we got to do at Comic-Con. You want to tell them what the coolest thing is we did?
We got to hang out with the King,
Yep, King of Earth,
Commander Chris Hadfield.
an astronaut, an actual
in
astronaut.
outer space.
For 146 days, I think. Something like that. Many days.
He lived in outer space.
Yeah. And he's he's the best human among us.
Yes.
He had an amazing handshake.
The best handshake I've ever
Yep.
had.
He was very cordial. He introduced himself to everyone in the room. He
Paid attention.
paid attention.
You had his attention
Yeah.
while he was talking.
Yeah. And then he did a faux spacewalk with Adam with their fake
2001 space.
2001
Oh, that's right,
spacesuits.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, and I molded and cast the lunchboxes for them. So they're in the video. If you watch it, they're holding these like lunchboxes.
Yeah.
Hey, those are back in the
Yeah, there you go. And again, if you go to tested.com, you'll see that video. You'll see a bunch of stuff on my District 9 gun.
That's coming up.
That-
The
well,
tested stuff is coming up.
Yeah, my videos and builds write-ups are on
Oh,
there.
that's right.
Yeah, so go check those out.
And while all this amazing stuff was
Yeah.
happening, I was here.
He was here, and so here is Frank's shop. We're in Frank's
This is
office
what,
right now.
Yeah, we can't talk about the job.
Right, not yet.
It's for a video game commercial. The video game's unannounced. Everything's non-disclosure.
Yeah.
But we're building cool shit, and you'll
Yeah.
see it eventually.
You will see it. It's going to be awesome.
The only thing is, foam is involved.
Yes,
And plastic and paint.
so much foam.
Foam, plastic, and paint.
Frank has assembled, and by the way, like I wrote a book on making stuff out of foam. I feel like the new guy back there with the team of people making just some amazing foam stuff back there, and you guys will get to see all that eventually.
Yeah, super cool.
So don't ask.
Don't ask.
Don't
no.
ask. So are people asking questions or?
There's stuff popping up all
yeah,
over.
there's-
So I was like, where do I live?
I got all that. Don't you worry. I want to make sure we get everything taken care of. Before we start answering all the questions, these guys got some other things that we ought to talk about. Let's talk about Creature Geeks. What's that about?
Creature Geeks is the podcast that myself and Len Peralta host on Tested.com. Actually, tomorrow, the new one is coming out. Tomorrow, and I'm going to tell you now, it's with cinematographer Chris Warren.
All right.
He did all the visual effects cinematography for movies like Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh.
He did, I believe he said he did stuff on The Abyss, did Virus, did all the miniatures and stuff like that in Virus. Did Pillsbury Doughboy back in the day.
Yes.
The little kid with the ham. Got paid $50 a poke.
Really?
Yes, to stop motion.
Oh my god.
He did. What else did he do? There's tons and tons of stuff. You're gonna have to listen to. We recorded the podcast a couple weeks ago. I can't remember everything.
Awesome. So Creature, is it just CreatureGeeks.com?
Creature-Geek.
Creature dash.
If you go to Tested, go to podcast, Creature Geeks there. You could look at all of them. We're nearing the end of our second season, so there's 19 of them total, I think, will be there. So you could listen to our old ones. We had a couple of bad audio ones this season, but that's just like 2 or 3, and we're through the woods on that.
Cool. Ted, what have you been working on? You got the Evil Ted channel.
Oh, yes, I do. I have it. I've been posting all the videos right now because I'm working, which is great. That's all. And also, I'm working on my website, frantically, and I have patterns I'm going to be up to be selling. And I'm going to have my patterns up shortly. So,
Great.
hang in there, guys. I got my website. I got a new web person that's going to help me with it. And I should have that shortly. And I'll also be adding more videos soon.
Good.
I get lots of questions.
Yeah, that's great. If you go to YouTube and look up the Evil Ted channel, you'll find a bunch of stuff, especially really great foam fabrication stuff. But of course, people are watching this show. They probably know all about it. They'll know all about the Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
That's right.
Okay, well, that's enough jibber jabber. Let's start taking some questions. I see a handful of them showing up in the Q&A app. Again, if you guys are watching this live, they can't actually see it. We can see it.
Well, they can't say to a point like knuckleheads?
Yeah.
All right.
But if you're watching live, you go to the Google event page. There's the Q&A app there. You can submit your questions.
There.
I've never actually done it myself before, so I don't know where it is.
There.
But I also have some questions from earlier today from on Facebook, so I'm going to start by chewing through those.
Let's do that.
All right, so this one comes from my pal Caitlin. She says, let's see, Frank, what did you use to make Farnsworth's glasses? Could you actually see through them?
Yes, you could. As a matter of fact, I have them in the other room. If you want me to just run.
Yeah, go for it.
Come. Show them's always better.
I'll link. I'm going to write down links to all the stuff that we want to link to. So the Farnsworth Project was something that Frank did last year.
Yeah, it was very spot on.
Oh yeah.
It just when I saw, I'm like, oh my god, it's Farnsworth.
For the guys over at Tested.com, Professor Farnsworth from Futurama, of course, he did a really cool real life version of it. Hey, check that out.
So here are Farnsworth's glasses, and yes, you can see through them.
Oh yeah,
They're a little bent up, and they're kind of broken right now.
There you go.
But yeah, they were just vacuum forms. That's,
yeah, but they're not solid, so people would think they'll be solid.
Yeah, I sanded the side so it looked like it was ground glass.
Right.
And then the front was just a clear piece of polycarbonate.
Yeah, that'll do the trick right
piece
there.
of wire.
And the bevel's nice.
Yeah, yeah. I had I vacuum formed it the opposite way, and then glued the polycarbonate on the front so that way it would stay clear.
Very cool.
There you go.
So there you go. There's my Farnsworth glasses.
Fantastic. We'll have a link to the Farnsworth Project in the show notes eventually when I can get around to doing them, because Brittany is not here assisting me like she usually is, so we'll see how that goes. But anyway, Farnsworth Project, Farnsworth glasses, cool stuff. Thank you, Caitlin, for your question. This next one comes in from another buddy of mine. This is Nick. I bet he was at San Diego Comic-Con. Let's see. He has a prop gun that he made many years ago. He'd like to mold and cast a copy before it falls apart. Any suggestions on how to mold something that wasn't originally designed to be molded?
Go to Tested.com, look up how to build a lightsaber.
Yeah, that's a good place.
And there's a whole tutorial I did on how to do 2-part molds.
Oh, excellent.
Do you, I think you may be worried that it'll fall apart during the process.
It probably will.
It probably will.
You're gonna, if you're gonna, the whole point of molding is because you're gonna have it. And if you're gonna mold something that's fragile and you're gonna keep it, you're gonna have to make a sacrifice. It's that or you make it. You don't want to do this while you're molding it, so you mold it to get a new one.
Yeah, The good news is once that mold is made, you can make a whole bunch of copies.
Exactly, you can make 2.
Yeah.
So just have one dead one.
Or you'll have a jigsaw puzzle project afterwards.
But if I could
Good luck with that one, though, Nick. Good luck. Oh, here, I'll grab this. No, I'm going over here. Another regular here for Fearless Facade. This one's specifically for Frank. Any advice for sculpting robot heads or helmets from clay? Seems to struggle with getting symmetrical angles and all that stuff.
Symmetry is tough when you're sculpting. You probably know this too, Ted.
yes, I do.
It's tough to get symmetry, to get straight lines, to make things smooth and have a machine finish. Every time I've seen it done well, people will sculpt it and get the symmetry as best you can with like calipers and stuff like that. Mold it and then cast it out of something hard and then body shop it.
Yeah, this is the thing. That's why, and that's the sculpting struggle. Like that's why with foam fabricating, I really got into it because when I make a pattern, I just flip it.
Yeah.
Instant symmetry without.
Yeah.
That's why I always admire people who sculpt and they do that stuff where they do the symmetry and the calipers because you just I've seen people sculpt one side, kind of get it dialed in first, and then go from there.
Yeah.
So get all the bugs worked out on one side and kind of try to flip the calipers.
It's tricky. It takes a lot of time, and it takes practice.
Yes.
You do it a lot. You
Yeah.
get fast at it, but it takes a lot of time.
Yeah. I like the a good example. My shopmate Will did a Star-Lord helmet. He sculpted a very basic shape out of clay, then made a junk mold, cast it in urethane, and then body shopped that rigid plastic casting. Now that means you make a silicone mold and then throw it away after one use.
Yeah.
But that's a great way to get a good platform to work from.
Or what you could do is also you can do an alternate cast of it, and you can use 1630.
What's 1630?
It's
You could just put barbell straight in
yeah.
it.
Oh yeah. Can you?
Yeah.
You can do
Forget the 6. That's didn't count.
It's a 2-part resin you make so you can slush cast it.
Yeah.
I do a lot of stuff with that, but he's absolutely right. You could do a silicone mold and just mix up a creamy bondo, pour it in, and therefore you don't use silicone. But you have to do it the same day you pour it because algae shrinks.
Yeah.
Once the moisture leaves, it shrinks. You have to do it rather quickly. So.
There you go. A whole bunch of stuff for you to try.
Way too much information.
That's fine. Cool. So that was regular Fearless Facade. He also says, Frank, you rock that Rancor costume.
Woo, that's 3. How many R's?
It's the Francor.
Francor.
Yeah.
Monster.
All right. Another one related to the Rancor from Jasper. Jasper wants to know, why no cooling shirt in the Rancor?
You know, I had fans. I had fans wired up to put into there. But, like, I just wanted to get in there and get this thing going. I was just like, you know what, screw trying to get these in. We built it in 3.5 weeks.
Yeah.
We tried to do as much as we could.
Yeah. So.
I can't do everything in 3.5 weeks. So it was just kind of, you know, version 2.0. I'm going to have the arms worked out a little more.
Right.
Get the fans installed. Have a cooling system going. There's more to come on the Rancor. But
we haven't seen the last
to
of
get
it.
it done, like, I can't do everything.
Yeah.
You know, we tried.
Like, it did what it was supposed to do. And you were out in the street wearing that thing, walking around for a solid 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, which,
And that was the goal. And it was mission accomplished.
you know, and as much as 15 minutes doesn't sound like a lot, like, our goal was to get the video shot, to have the payoff for this video. We'll work the bugs out of the Rancor and have a follow-up video.
Oh, yeah.
You know, maybe at, like, Kamikaze or something like that, I'll pull a Rancor out again.
That sounds
if I
good.
can get it all dialed in.
Yep, and of course, there's a whole bunch of behind-the-scenes footage on the building of it that's going to be coming in the next couple of weeks.
The next couple of weeks,
Yeah,
we shot
fantastic.
3 or 4 videos, so all the building is pretty much documented.
Wonderful. Look forward to that. Those cooling shirts did look pretty neat.
Oh, was it Adam?
Yeah.
Adam and Commander King Hatfield.
Commander Hatfield, yes. Awesome. Thank you for the question. This next one here is from Jordan. Any suggestions on weathering fabrics? He's making a Fallout Ranger costume and he wants it to look post-apocalyptic. Post-apocalyptic sounds right up your alley.
Matter of fact, what I recommend, it's you get raw Sienna Acrylic, and you break it down in a spray bottle. Like just get the, I always like to get the airbrush kind, or just get acrylic. That's burnt sienna and raw sienna. Get those 2 browns, and you take your clothing. What you use, you wet the area, but you want to have age more. Don't. I always find I put it in a spray bottle and you spray it. You can put your raw sienna and you focus the spots you want more aged, and you kind of like get the area you wet. I get just straight water. I wet the area, and then I take the raw sienna and spray it. And you kind of do it and let it dry. because it goes a little bit lighter or darker. You just kind of do it, and then as time goes on, you can slowly weather things. But if you want to go really crazy, you just take the whole thing you want and just soak it and make a thing of raw sienna. But it's like nice and let it dry. It kind of gets that faded. I do a lot with white. I get like patches and white stings, and I always kind of do a raw sienna soak, just spray it, let it dry, and it gives that kind of age without looking fake. It's kind of like
brown it up.
Brown it up a little bit.
There's the title for the show.
Brown it up. You know what? On Face Off, I wore a shirt that said brown. Just brown. On it. Yeah, it just said brown. It was kind of a call out to my buddy Doug.
Yeah.
We always just said brown it up, but dude, brown it up.
Yeah, brown up.
Add some brown. Everything looks better.
And also you can do black, just like brown's black. This is good just to spray like watercolor.
No. Brown.
Sorry.
Dark, really dark.
Brown.
Thank you. Let's see. That was Jordan. Thank you for your question. Good luck on your Fallout Ranger costume.
Oh, fantastic.
This next one is from Kishore. And the question, again, people really like their Rancor. How did you make the Rancor teeth? Anything special or just a really good paint job? And yes, we are going to see creation videos on Tested.
There you go.
Yeah. Actually, one of the other girls that works in my shop sculpted the teeth. Regina was noodling away at the teeth while I was working on details of like ears and junk like that, and getting the anatomy around the eyes. She just sculpted them out of WED clay. The whole head was sculpted out of WED. And then pulled them out, dumped a silicone mold, and poured in some urethane. And then browned them up.
Brown or not?
Brown.
Is it pronounced WED? W-E-D?
Yeah.
WED stands for Walt Edward
Disney. That is correct.
Oh.
EM217 from Laguna Clay.
EM217. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
we'll put a link to that in the show
All those
notes.
characters they did for Disney.
We'll put an Amazon affiliate link to that in the show notes.
There you go. Do you know that the thing that separates white clay, which is EM210, from WED, is that it has mineral oil in it?
Didn't know that.
And so when it starts drying up, it doesn't shrink and crack as much.
Yeah,
It still will,
Yeah.
but not as much.
it gives you more working time. It's kind of hard and waxy. You can really block it out and let it get firm. You can go back and start tooling it. So
But I have both of those clays here in the shop. WED, I use almost all for sculpture, where I use white, the EM210, for doing molds, because it doesn't have that mineral oil in it, so it's not as like gooey when you're trying to get a real nice, slick, smooth surface.
EM210 for
EM210.
molding.
Yeah.
There we go. Lots of great information. I gotta tell you, I never get to work in a big shop like this with other people except for my shopmate Will. Let's be honest, I've already extracted all the good information out of him. So working with, if anyone else gets a chance ever to work in a shop with a lot of other people, just being here for like the last 4 or 5 days and being in the crossfire of great information, I have a list of notes like yay long with all the stuff I've learned.
yeah, it's been great. There's some great people out there I work with, you never stop learning. I've learned so much stuff on the show, and Frank and his crew and the people here, it's just like, oh my god, just when you think, oh, that's a good way I can do that. Yeah, great stuff.
Steven Meissner from Solo Roboto is back there too. He may pop in. He was on the show. He was on the show a few weeks ago.
Yeah, he's painting.
He's
slinging the paint.
He's the only one working. We're in here being yahoos.
No, everybody. There's one.
There's both people out there.
Yeah.
4 or 5 people still working.
Awesome. All right, so this next one comes from Mike. It's got a picture. I can't display it, but I'll. It's God of War is what it is.
I saw that.
He says, "What advice do you have for making armor with rolled edges?" He's never done this and wants to make it out of L200 or Warbler. Well, you should probably use L200.
Yeah.
Here is the armor. It's these rolled edges up here. How would you make that out of foam, you think?
I would totally do that out of EVA format foam.
Yeah.
And it's all about sanding. You can totally round your edges. It's foam is like any other material. You can sand it. People always say, "Oh, it's soft. How do you sand it?" It's easy. What I usually do is like a Dremel, knock down the edge on both sides, and I make my sanding sticks.
There
you guys can check that out on my Tools of the Trade video on my Evil Ped channel.
Nice.
Oh, look at that plug.
Sanding sticks. I make.
We'll link to that.
Yeah.
Is that just is that the stir sticks that you have sandpaper?
Yeah. I just spray 77 sandstick, and then you just do an 80 grit, and you just knock it down from there. And when you're all said and done, you can heat gun it. I like the torch, but you can. And once you get
careful with the torch.
Yeah.
The torch it's something you have to. I would practice and finesse a little because in the early days I burned things, but you can solve it. But also, if you just sand it down, you can also wet sand it as well.
Yeah.
bring it all the way down and go 400 grit on it and wet sand it and be just as nice. And then use a heat gun to seal it.
There you go. That was an adequate answer. Thank you for your question, Mike. Lots of practice. A lot of that stuff just comes down to lots and lots of practice.
And learning from other people.
There you go. Let's see here. This one is from, I'm sorry if I mispronounce it, Akayatana
Yeah, that
Cosplay.
Yeah, that works.
I think I nailed it. First try. Working on a Maokai from League of Legends. I've been carving oak-like bark out of foam with a lot of deep grooves. When I prime and paint the bark, a lot of the details lost by the liquids gap filling. Any suggestions?
Yes. What? It's the
These are really good questions.
these are
really
good
are.
questions. I try to use there's the better we use it as WeldWood.
WeldWood? Yeah.
WeldWood
It's
contact.
easy for you to say.
Yeah.
Home
WeldWood,
Depot.
and it's water based. Don't get the toxic stuff that actually works. Get the water based stuff that we use as a sealant, and it's super water thin, and
Got stirred up though.
you get stirred up, and you also when you go into cracks, using stuff like latex and whatnot, you can fill up. You just have to be careful when you're brushing. I always try to have a clean brush, your brush, and have a standard brush by just to go in and get your grooves. If you let it pile up, it won't fill any details. You got to stay careful when you're brushing.
There you go. Some solid info there.
You could spray it, put it in a critter.
But the
That's
critter
it.
gun, that's awesome.
Critter gun. I'll have a link to that in the show
I
notes.
bought a critter gun
Yes.
because Ted told me to.
I
That's what I sprayed the Rancor down with.
He
was
was
a critter.
he had his big ranker that was huge. He was looking at it. He said, "I'm going to take a Hudson with links." I said, save yourself the time and get yourself a critter, and it just sprayed it like spray paint.
And Steven's here!
Hey!
All right.
This
Steven,
means that one less person is working.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's fine. Steven's going to
Hey,
help
guys.
us. He's going to help us with our next question. This one comes from Bio Cosplay. He says, what material would you recommend for a Black Destiny Warlock visor? And
I don't know what any of that means.
Yeah.
So
But, Steven, if you were going to make a visor for something, how would you do it, and then how would you recommend someone else who doesn't have a vacuum form does
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you could vac form it. I've heard.
But without a vacuum
Yeah,
form.
without-
You're not allowed to
without
say the word
vac
vacuum form
forming.
for the next 2 minutes.
Are they compound curves? I don't know the Destiny helmets
The
really.
visor has a small, like, rectangular bit right here for the Warlock thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's not all that curvy.
No,
So then all you need is like a sheet of you use like PETG or really any clear plastic,
Mhm.
and you can dye that stuff.
Yeah, you
What
can.
iDye, right? Polyester.
iDye poly.
I get
Yeah.
probably.
That stuff it's awesome. It's really stinky though.
Okay, can I say
Good
I
deal.
just learned something? Because I've been going crazy about tinting stuff,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and I didn't think to ask my friends.
Yeah.
And I just learned something today because I've always wondered.
What, right now?
Yeah.
Just this moment?
I didn't realize you could tint. I always thought I used to get tinted plastic or just vacuum form. I find the shade I want, vacuum form opposed to just tinting it. And now I learned.
Well, on
Yeah.
Adam Savage's Judge Dredd helmet, they took a visor from a motorcycle. You can get replacement visors.
Yeah.
I had a welding mask.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
they
true.
just cut out the shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can
So
buy.
then-
Yeah, you can buy those on eBay for.
Really cheap.
Yeah.
And also too, the good thing is you can also buy motorcycle helmets, visors. They sell them separately at the motorcycle.
Isn't that what I just said?
Did you say that?
Yeah.
See what happens when you get old?
That's fine. For the Dread helmet.
Hashtag motorcycle helmet.
So, for my
Ted's technology. You have to start another little segment on your thing. Ted figuring out technology.
Yeah.
Ted's technology.
Technology.
So for my Dread helmet, I use a motorcycle visor. I'll link that in the show notes if folks want to check that out. It was like $12 on Amazon.
Yeah.
There we go. Thank you, Bio Cosplay. And
Yeah.
this one here comes from
How many people are watching? Oh, it's 35.
35.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Fancy.
It's Kiwi wants to know, question for Frank and Ted. Any tips on how to get started doing props and effects for film and TV?
Oh, wow.
Keep it as a hobby.
yeah,
That's my advice. Make it a hobby. Have fun.
And learn from it too as you go because just, yeah.
I don't think that's the answer.
the reason why is, Ted, how long have you been doing it? Not to give away your age.
25 years.
I've been.
He started when he was 5, though.
I've been
so-
15 years.
Yeah.
No, I'm not 25. Roughly, I think like 22, 23. It's
But a while.
it's a long
Yeah.
time.
No, you have been longer, more than 2 years more than me.
Yeah. No,
You've
you're
been
right.
doing it since the 80s, dude.
89. I started 89.
But anyway, both of you guys moved to LA.
Yes.
And how much of that do you think played a
Oh
part?
my God, huge.
Yeah, I mean, people always, like, nowadays, people are like, oh, Atlanta's it, or,
Right. It's
you know, for a
different now.
minute it was Louisiana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, people keep saying it somewhere else, but LA is
There's
kind of where it
so
is.
much
yeah.
of it
And
here.
there's so much. And when I first moved out here, the thing was so funny about the going jokes that I came out of the 90s and I had friends going over the 80s. You couldn't throw a rock without an effect shop. There was so many, just, you could step out of one shop and right to the next shop on another job. It was insane.
Steve Johnson at Greg Candles.
Yep. And my God, John Beekler, like there's low budget, big budget, medium budget. Everybody's making a film. There's so much production. Straight to video, straight to VHS stuff was happening at the time. So
Even
VHS.
here though, who's over
I have
there?
a shop on both sides of me.
Yeah.
And then there's another one at the end of the plaza. So on this side is, if you look it up, it's Cooler Heads. They mostly do like the Jack in the Box commercials.
Right.
And this side is one of the most amazing sculptors on the planet, Mike Hill, who makes some amazing statues.
Yes, he does.
Mike Hill's right next door.
Yeah.
I did
And
not
then
know that.
Anamorphics is down at the end, and they do tons and tons of commercials. And then also at the end of the plaza is a company that builds magic tricks for big magicians like Copperfield and stuff.
There you go.
So this
really?
just this plaza
Yeah.
is full of people.
Yeah. That's
And then there's another shop across the street, which I don't, Jim Ojala's shop. I don't know him, but I've met him. I've never been over there.
yeah.
Never minded me.
It also too, like, I know people want to hear it, but it's like working on like Frank too as a hobby. Get into it, intern, work below somebody, get into somebody because no, you're gonna come
And
in.
no, I will not take interns.
And
He doesn't
also-
have trouble keeping us in check.
Obviously, we're all really hard workers
Yes,
here.
we're all. Apparently, I'm paying everybody for this hour.
but it's yeah.
And I'm probably buying dinner too. Should I order pizza?
Yeah.
I don't want to be. I always remember when I first came out, I had these old veteran guys like, "Oh, you don't want to get into this stuff, kid." I don't want to shoot anybody down from that. It's just a tough industry to get into, but it's like just love it, get into it, get good at it, have a hobby, have fun, and just keep building a
I'll order
portfolio.
food after.
Cool.
Yeah,
All
get,
right.
get a portfolio, put something together. That's what the
Good
show.
good info there. It's Kiwi. Follow your dreams. But you should probably move to LA. This one's from Ayla. What would be the best way to seal your foam and still have it flex? There are many ways.
Ooh,
We
the
just
one
learned,
that you
we
guys
just
are
learned
using.
a whole bunch.
Why don't we
Learned a
just
bunch today.
Steven, why don't you talk about how we did it for
Yeah,
this
since you've
project?
been doing most
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
this tape.
so I've been painting foam suits like all week, and
And we're not talking about
right.
What it is.
things are.
That
No.
just they had
Yeah,
to kill you.
Yeah,
Foam
I'm doing a
stuff.
lot of painting.
It's fine. If he starts to say something, just punch him in the throat.
right in the jugular. So we've been using WeldWood contact cement, which I think is DAP. Is the brand. So it's WeldWood.
And it's the water base.
Yeah, water based. So it's like water thin, and you can buy it in like the quarter to the gallon, and it's apparently terrible glue. But we've been using it as basically a primer on all of the foam, and you can brush it, you can spray it. We don't have to thin it or anything; it runs straight through the gun.
And then the paint that we're using is
Nova color.
Nova
No,
color.
and my
Yeah.
God, once
And this
again,
stuff is awesome.
learn something.
It flexes really
it's
good.
amazing.
It's- Nova's, yep.
I'm
Yeah.
never going to use spray paint again.
Yeah, and again, you can brush that, you can spray it, and it's actually compared to other stuff, it's really cheap. I mean, like a gallon of that stuff was only like $30-something.
Yeah.
And it goes a long
ways.
ways.
Yeah, it covers really
And
well.
it's super bendy and stretchy. Like you can pull like the little like bits out of the lid and take like a little piece and stretch it out to like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It tastes
400%.
terrible though. It tastes
Bill,
really
yeah.
bad.
Bill's on that.
Bill tried to eat a bunch yesterday.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's what we've been doing. And it's really cheap.
And they got a good range of colors. They got metallics.
They got
They got
yeah, the color
and
metallics
it's-
are
have matte mediums, gloss mediums, gel
Yeah.
mediums.
And it's all water based and it's acrylic, so you can tint it, you can mix it. It cleans up with water until it gets dry, at
Yeah.
which point it's like indestructible.
And you know, it's just the lack of toxicity. It's just brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all
which
Which
water
is-
is also good
Good to
when
know
you
if
try
you-
and eat it.
Try and eat it. Yeah.
That
All
tastes, it tastes terrible. I hear.
There you go, Ayla. Good luck with your foam coating adventures. This next one here, from Jason Lee, another regular.
Jason Lee, like the actor, the skater.
I don't think so.
I want him to do a kickflip for us.
Do a kickflip. He wants to know, Evil Ted, how often does Commander Holly just happen to be in the neighborhood?
It's funny, but it's pretty often. It's fun. She's as a friend that lives in the complex I have, and sometimes she visits. And the last video we did,
What What was that one?
Oh, it was the how to do large patterns.
Okay, I'm gonna put that in the show notes.
Is your cheater projector.
Yeah, my overhead projector, and I've
Your
been
old-fashioned overhead.
and the people I've been getting a lot of emails. Of people like, Ted, where did I get those? And I'm like, I know they don't make them anymore. And
Oh no, I got one for you.
there you go. Oh, here,
Oh,
Look at this.
snap.
dude, so here you go. Look,
Tracer Jr. You could probably find this on the Amazons. You just put the photo in here. It's like 4-inch square, and then you can
Oh.
focuses and stuff. It's kinda like-
Tracer Projector Jr. I'm putting that in the show notes
Put it in
too.
the show notes. This
Good
is,
thing I have.
this is a good way to blow up patterns.
and Holly, and I'm saying, Holly called me and said, hey, I need help, Ted, desperately. I got to do this walk around. I need to make a bean shape. I don't know how about doing it. I said, well, sure. When do you need? She goes, can I come over tomorrow? I'm like, so she came over and I liked it because she kind of made stuff up. I thought I better shoot this at the same time, and it was fun. We had a blast doing it.
You lie to her.
And
Big liar.
no, it was a blast. And we got to do it together. And it was fun. And I thought I'll just make a video with it. And it was a big hit. People liked it. So yes, Holly does frequently show up, and it's fun. I like hanging out with her. She's a blast. And we are going to eventually collaborate on a costume together. So.
Cool. It does kind of sort of seem like the thing down here that people will show, like Frank put together a whole team of people who just kind of were around and available and good at what they do.
It was hard to find because everybody in the universe is working on superhero movies right now.
Yeah.
Finding foam fabricators, people that make any kind of suits, any people that sew, like it's impossible in town right now.
Right. But it happened.
Yeah,
And but Frank, you threw it out there. It was great. And that's how I found out about it.
it was Matt Munson
Matt
told me
Munson.
to call me. Told me to call you.
And I got a text. My phone goes, Ted, check your messages. I'm like, what? So I got and so I said, okay. And I went and checked them out. And then when I talked to him, it came. I was like, oh my God, this is great. And I'm so glad. This is awesome.
Thanks for being here.
And
you know, a lot of this came through the RPF.
Yeah.
I met him at the RPF. Well, I met you before, but
Yeah.
you were at the RPF party.
Yeah, RPF party.
I got
When the
a hold of
tested
him through Matt Munson, who was at the RPF party. I had another guy named Malachi that was working here that I met at the RPF party. Like, we had the Southern California RPF get together at my shop a couple weeks ago or whatever.
Yeah, like the week.
I'm just pulling RPFers now.
Yeah.
And when I saw Frank out there, he was like, oh, he's the one that did the lobster from
Zoidberg.
Soyberg. I was like, I love that video. I laughed so hard. I'm like, oh, that's him. I'm there. So, yeah.
Awesome. So that's kind of how it goes, Jason Lee. Thanks for your question. Let's see. We have one more here from Facebook from earlier. This is Axeman's Projects. Wants to know if you need to make a rigid version of foam armor or a piece of armor like Iron Man with a silicone jacket mold. How would you stop the flexing of the foam armor? Would you place the foam armor on a working mannequin and mold off of that? I wouldn't probably make a mold of foam.
No.
You could.
You could. Put it on a mannequin, do a brush up,
Yeah.
plaster bandage jacket,
That's it.
slap some.
There you go.
And then slap some Bondo inside of it, and then start.
I would say,
Or plaster bandage the back half. Or something to stiffen it up. You got to stiffen it up.
yeah, I would say with your foam armor, put it on a mannequin and then seal it really well
Yeah,
with something
that's-
like Epsilon.
Yeah,
Or-
something hard. I've seen people do it. I've seen people make swords and stuff, but like armor, especially if you're using like the thick foam, there's so much air in there that when it heats up, unless you've got sealed really solid.
Yeah. Seal if you're gonna do it, seal your foam really well and finish it really well before you put the molding on it, because then you have to do less cleanup work later.
And, I still do brush ups. Like, you don't always
Yeah.
have to do like fancy
Right.
matrix molds. Like,
Seriously.
brush up. Like, you can get a.
You hear that? You hear that, Harrison? Frank says it's okay
It's okay,
to
Harrison.
not always do a matrix mold.
No, you can actually brush up and make a jacket later.
Yeah, I use
Very happy.
I like Moldmax Stroke, which it's got a faster catalyst than Moldmax 30. Then you add a little bit of Thi-Vex in there. These are all from Smooth On.
You like that better than the rebound stuff?
Rebound is platinum based.
No, right, which is
And a lot of times platinum based stuff will have inhibition to different things. So if
Yeah.
I'm unsure, I'll just go in with Moldmax. And it's also, I think, cheaper.
What's the thickening stuff called again?
Thi-Vex. Thivex. You
Time,
only got to put a couple of drops in.
Yeah,
So-
seriously, only a couple jobs. Otherwise, it turns into cake batter.
But you kind of once you get the first 2 brush on coats without Thi-Vex on, then you kind of want it peanut butter.
Yeah, you
so
do want thick.
Yeah.
Spatula on it.
All right, cool. There you go. Give it a go. That was
we're getting
from
more and more.
that was from Axeman.
43.
Yeah.
Fancy.
That was from Aclad Projects. Thank you for the question. We have a couple more over in the Q&A app that I'm sure we'll get through.
There.
So no, they can't see it, but it's right there. So if you're watching, go over to the event page and submit a question. This next one is from Clockwork Thief. This question is, what would be the best starter resin or casting material for making a prop gun? So we're working with EVA foam, but he'd like to start with resins. I like Smooth Cast 300.
300.
Yeah, I'd say get one of their starter kits.
Yes.
Those are
You can
good.
buy like a kit where it's like either like the portable silicone or the brush on and a little bunch of 300. And
Yeah. I have,
Yeah.
I have a bunch of videos on Tested of how to start doing basic molding and casting. So go to tested.com. You look at, I have a 2-part mold, I have a silicone dump mold. I have a bunch of stuff on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't even need to do silicone molds to start casting. You can make push molds out of clay if you want to just kind of get used to how resin works. Oh my
Oh
god!
my God, scary music.
I have to do my boarding and checking for a flight.
Oh, there you go.
So I can get the A group on Southwest. I got to do it right now.
Yeah, because that
Good
music
luck.
gave me a slight hard time.
Yeah,
Scary.
you can get a small piece of something like a coin or a button that you want to copy and just push it into a piece of clay and then pop it out as carefully as possible and then dump a little resin in there to make little big push molds.
I guess
Yeah.
I bet you learned that trick from a job you needed something really, really quick.
Yeah, like when you need it right away.
Yes.
Exactly. All right, there you go, Clockwork Thief. Smoothcast 300. It's unanimous.
All right.
This next one is from Tim, and he is working on a Gears of War costume. You should have all the pieces done except for the boots. Should I make a hinged boot for flexibility? And if so, any tips on the boots?
Boots.
Trying to think what this looks like.
Yeah.
Group
They're really-
B7.
Pretty good.
Yeah, if you're in the front of the B's, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I guess with boots, I always try to fabricate on something pre-existing.
Yes.
You get a shoe or a boot, something you like, and then foam fab on top of that to make it look like anything.
I know a lot of other cosplayers. Actually, my buddy Thomas over at RawrBomb, RawrBomb, look him up on Facebook. He did a Gears of Kitty costume, which is Gears of War, but painted like Halo Kitty. And he did some really cool, big, chunky looking boots. So you may go over there and see how he did those. But I'm willing to bet it's as similar as that Ted says. Buy a pre-existing boot and then build foam on top of it.
Yeah, I think the 405th, they're mostly Halo, but I think they have a Gears of War section for costumes that they do as well.
I found a Tron section on 405.
Yeah?
Really?
Yeah. All right, let's 405.
Because I've been looking up, we were
Yeah.
talking at lunch today about the lighting for
Right.
Tron costumes.
Cool. Again, all this stuff's going in the show notes, and it will be up. Those will be up eventually. Who knows?
Send them to your wife.
I'm not going to do that while she's hanging out with her family.
right.
This next one, oh, thank you, Tim, for the question. This next one is from Chris. Yeah, he just bought the Model Masters Metallizer aluminum lacquer and was wondering if I had any tips for using it and what you do to clear coat it. They do sell their own sealer for it.
Yeah, but it's non-buffable. So if you're gonna do the buffing, you have to buff it first.
Yep.
When I was painting up my Star-Lord helmet, I played with a whole range of tests to get the metal colors. My favorite clear was Alclad.
Yeah.
They're clear. They're or it's like their crystal clear stuff. It looks white, but it dries crystal clear, and it's the most of the hobby brand of clear stuff. It's the most transparent for over metal because even the tester stuff will dull it down a little.
I love Alclad.
Alclad, so Alclad sealer or what?
It's I think it's their high gloss clear for metal or something like that.
All right, I'll find it.
Yeah, it's like they have numbers. I think it's 000.
000.
Yeah, I think it's that one, and that's my favorite. And it's also water based.
Alclad's water-based?
The clear coat is water based. Yeah, so you can put it over anything.
The a thing that we worked on last night was metal, and Frank gave me some good advice on that. We made a gloss black base, and then went over that with the Alclad gold or brass, polished brass, and that looks fantastic.
Really pretty.
We didn't clear coat it or anything. We just left it as is because it wasn't going to get handled or anything.
No.
So
I custom painted my welding mask to look like Iron Man.
Oh,
And I
that's
used
right.
polished brass as the color for that.
Yeah, but they're clear. You can even put over their chrome. and
Really?
it only brings it down a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, it says right on the bottom you can actually use it because it's smooth enough. You can use it as a base for the chrome.
Interesting.
So I saw a guy on the RPF did this. He did his like gloss black, his layer of chrome, layer of clear, and it dulls it a little bit. And then he put another layer of chrome on top of that because all fat sometimes will wear through it. So that way, if it wore through it all,
It's still something.
it was still there. It was just a little bit more dull.
Interesting.
Pretty good
That was pretty
idea.
clever.
I need to write that down.
Look at all these things that we're learning.
It
Yeah,
never stops.
there you go, Chris. This next one here comes from Erica. I've been thinking about casting small metal pieces, most likely with a low melt pewter. What material do you use to make the molds? Do you have any other tips?
They have high temp silicones.
They do.
Smooth On has high temp platinums. I don't remember which ones they recommend for high temp stuff.
I'll find it and put it in the show
Yeah,
notes.
but I'm sure you
Yeah.
But if you look on smoothon.com,
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll tell you.
it'll be in there somewhere.
Yeah, all you gotta do is find something that's safe up to the melting point of pewter, which pewter I think you can do it pretty low.
Yeah, it's a low temp. It doesn't.
Yeah, 'cause I think a lot of the basic stuff that we have around would still work.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Just get the silicone for that.
Yep.
Problem solved.
Yeah.
Thank
Look
you,
at us
Eric.
just plowing through
Thank you,
questions.
Eric.
Oh, next.
Next, go.
And next one from Chris. Maybe a different Chris.
Fuck one, kill one, marry one. Go.
When is Frank going to publish his epoxy mold making ebook? That's a fantastic
We've been
question.
talking about that all week. Too.
Yeah.
You know what? I was going to work on it this week, but I've been so busy wrangling
Yeah.
all these knuckleheads back there. No. We've been doing a lot of stuff.
It's written.
It's mostly
written. Yeah.
All the photos are done.
No, yours is more done than mine.
Yeah, and why, are you doing a mold book?
No, not mold
I'm
making.
doing all mold making.
I got one on Bondo.
I have no book.
So the epoxy one is just about. I just got to put it together, really, and it's going to take me like a day or two.
It takes
to really,
time, people. We're working over here.
Yeah, I have jobs. Sorry.
And the thing about not using the chop strand fiberglass, I learned that today. About
Yeah, when you're doing epoxy molds, don't use chopped strand mat because all those strands are held together with sizing, and the only thing that breaks down that sizing is styrene monomer that's in polyester and vinyl ester resins.
There you
You're
go.
not supposed to use it with epoxy, only woven cloths.
There you go. And I learned that today too. Also, I'm working on another book, another one in the foam. Actually, a little. I don't think I've talked about it too much, but I am writing the next book in the Foamsmith series. It's going to be about making foam weapons.
It's just basically stealing everything that Evil Ted has said this week.
Everything I learned this week, I wrote it down, and I'm making a new ebook.
I gotta go home and shoot video now. I gotta go.
There you go. I'm glad to hear people excited about that book. I'm excited about that book.
Yeah,
I have a lot to learn.
I got a lot of mold knowledge that's gonna spill out.
I watched him knocking out a mold today. Him and his
Regina.
assistant Regina doing the mold, and it's just like watching a well-oiled machine do the one thing that it was made to do.
It's so pretty.
Yeah, I've trained the shit out of
Yeah.
it. Like, I'm very specific on how I want my molds done,
Yes.
and so there's not a lot of room for interpretation.
Yep.
It's put the mold wall here, wherever the line is that I draw. Tap this much glass on there. Like it's kind of specific. So, once I've got her trained on how to do things the way I want them done, not really much a question.
Which is cool. That was. Can we talk about what that mold is?
Yeah, it's a mold for a Halloween mask. It's for immortal masks.
Yeah, right.
This is,
There you go.
I'm duplicating one of the molds that they had
Really
from one of their
nice.
past mold makers, and the mold's cracked.
Oh
None
no!
of my molds have
No.
been cracked.
It's because they're like this thick.
They're not that thick. They're not. They're only about total about an inch thick.
It's the quality of the material. it
It's-
uses.
No, it's not even the quality of the material because you could use a range of materials. It's the method on how you make it.
There you
Yeah.
go.
You could do the same things out of polyester, which is about half the price. I just prefer epoxy because it's not stinky.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you could if you were doing it today because Frank is busy with a lot of jobs on top of each other, and they were making a mold with the resin. We were working. We had to leave.
Yeah.
It was
It would
gas
stink out
so
the
bad.
shop.
We
Yeah.
had to
2
get
days.
out. Yeah, and we couldn't work in the shop, and it would slow everything down. Yeah, it's so much better.
I like it because it's not stinky, and there's a million reasons, but mostly because it's not stinky.
There you go.
Yes.
The next one says, you pronounce your name right. Awesome. That's Akaiviatan cosplay. Perfect.
Insert word cosplay.
He's looking to make Mokai's very large back hump. I got a picture. He's a big tree guy. He's got a
Looks like Mutant Groot.
mutant Groot. He's got a big tree hump sticking out the back of him. He's wondering about making some sort of frame or mesh and using maybe spray foam. I'm feeling like similar to the Rancor, doing it that way.
Oh yeah.
Pattern it out and just make it hollow foam.
Make it a foam hollow.
If you guys see the photos that Norm put up, he had that little mock-up, that little model.
Little maquette, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and Ted did the same thing for his bean-shaped thing.
Right.
You can make your mock-up small and figure out the patterning that way, and then use that projector to make it big for your big hump to make it out of foam.
Yeah.
And the thing is to measure what you want and the size you want, and when you move your projector up, once you hit your mark of the size, you know you have it, and then don't move your projector.
Yeah.
Just trace from there.
Well, the other thing that we did when we did the Rancor is we did the maquette at 1/8 scale. I knew that it was 1/8 scale because we sculpted it on a little figure that was 8 scale, and all we did is take all those patterns, take them to like Kinko's or whatever, blow them up 8 times. Yeah. So
I learned something again.
if you know what the scale is,
Right.
you just blow it up 8 times. And they got those large format printers. Cut it out. So it costs what, $30 in printing?
Yeah.
But saved so much time in trying to line up projectors.
That's actually really an idea to trace it. Because I got a message from somebody today that said, what if I don't have an overhead projector?
Kinko's.
That's what they do. Trace it, have them blow it up for you. Once you know the scale, have it blown up to Kinko's. There you go.
Perfect. Thank you. Good question. Really good. Let's see this next one from Clockwork Thief again. Let's see. Just curious now, what is each of your favorite props to make?
Rancor.
The Rancor's up there, huh?
Yeah, every time I make something new, that's my new favorite.
That's usually my answer too.
Yeah, weapons, guns.
Guns are pretty dope. I made a lot of space guns. The District 9 gun was a pretty good favorite of mine.
And helmets.
Yeah, helmets, helmets.
Yeah, Steve makes a lot of really cool helmets. Star-Lord, Ant-Man. What else? What else you got?
I'm making a Hawkman and Dr. Fate next. I'm gonna get those all shiny chrome too.
Ooh.
Okay.
Steve also likes
I'm trying to
making
figure
things
out
chrome.
what to trade with you for Star-Lord.
Yeah, I'm sure we can find something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. My new currency is that it's cast of that District 9 gun. Whenever I want something, I'll be like, you want to trade? Thank you, Clockwork Thief. We got about 10 minutes left here. We'll knock through as many of these as we can. This one's from Laura. Laura says, hi, Bill. Hi, Laura. I made props with pink insulation foam as the main body with wood as a base. The problem I've had is finding something to protect or harden the foam. I've used Bondo, which will probably destroy it.
Yeah. A little bit.
Yeah.
You can seal it with house paint first.
Yes.
And then you can
There you go.
put some fiberglass and junk on it.
Fiberglass and junk.
And junk, yeah.
That's
you
the
can
key part.
get fiberglass laminating resin from Home Depot. You can do that and then smear some Bondo on it.
Yeah, the important part is putting something on that foam that's going to make it so that the next layer doesn't eat it, crumple it.
House
Yeah.
paint.
And also be sure, and if you're doing anything, always save a sample. Always keep chunks of foam and put stuff on it before you brush anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finished product.
I'm pretty sure that Epsilon from Smooth On was designed to go on the foam.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
And
Yeah,
it's an epoxy, and
And it goes on
it's
really
not
thin.
stinky like Bondo and polyester resin.
And it goes on easy.
Yeah, Epsilon was designed for that.
Yes. And I also learned today that they make a foam-safe CA glue. Super
They
glue.
do, yeah.
Yeah.
And
I have that back there.
Yeah, no, that's where I found it.
Yeah, but you have a special kicker for it.
You do. You have to get a special
oh, is that what it is?
kicker.
It's a little
Yep.
ball kicker.
I'll have a link to that in the show notes as well.
Smooth On also just made a foam safe urethane. It's supposed to work like Epsilon.
Oh yeah, there's a rubber and a solid.
Yeah, that was so it's cheap.
Yeah.
Comparatively.
I have some back there. I haven't tried it out yet.
Yeah, they have some samples in at Reynolds, and it brushes out super smooth.
Mhm.
The title of this episode, I have some back there.
Yeah, there's some on the shelf.
There
if
you
you
go.
want to try it.
Thanks, Laura. Next one comes in from Mason, working on full body armor, and I was wondering if I could go about making a cavity that would hold my wallet and phone. It's a good idea. So I can get to them with keys and not have to worry about anything. That's a good idea.
Like Bill, you've actually done
Yeah,
that.
you
haven't
did
you?
that.
I
Yeah,
have.
it's in your Foamsmith book.
It is.
Probably is in the Foamsmith book,
Volume 1 or Volume 2.
which you can get the whole thing at
Whole
Foamsmith
It's
or at
definitely in one of those.
punishprops.com.
I remember reading it in there. I
Yeah,
read through your whole ebook when I bought it. I purchased it.
yeah. But you also have a copy
I have a hard
right
copy.
there. You can
Yeah,
show everyone.
The hard copy, honestly, is a lot. It's just, there's something about a hard copy that when you're working, it's easy to just kind of flip through and look for, opposed to having an
Ta-da!
hard copy's great.
Who's that guy?
It's very suggesting.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. A lot of times video game designers don't think, like, where does Commander Shepard keep his wallet? Or how does he go to the bathroom?
Space wall.
Yeah. There's space money.
So that's a good thing to incorporate. Let's see here. This next one is from Craft Access. I want to make a Daft Punk Thomas helmet and
Go to Harrison's store.
Yeah.
He's got one for sale.
yeah, just go buy Harrison's. You can get a blank one. It's I think like $300.
Oh my
and it's
God.
Where you get a finished one for 25,000.
25,000. It's yours,
Yeah.
all done
Yeah.
with lights.
but you can actually get a clean one without anything on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it is worth every penny.
That's amazing. There you go.
Do you recommend to do a matrix mold for these? Can I use Rebound 25? You sure
You
can.
talking about the Thomas helmets?
Yeah, you can do it
Yeah.
either way.
Yeah.
My buddy Tom at Sorenzo Props did a whole bunch of video series, live video right from his shop of him doing a matrix mold of his Daft Punk helmet, exactly what you're doing, and you can go watch it. It's like 8 hours of footage, so just go watch all of that.
Yeah,
It'd be
sit
sad.
down, get a drink, and drink.
Look up Sorenzo Props on YouTube. You'll find it. I'll also put a link in the show notes.
Bill, why am I doing all the wiring on this project? There's a whole chapter in here on lights.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I shouldn't make you do all the rest of this. I know what you're doing tomorrow.
I just got upgraded to Electronics Wizard.
There you go.
Sorenzo. I spelled it wrong. There you go. There is a whole chapter on doing lights.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
It's just the words make Frank do it.
Freaking over.
We got
All right, we got time for one or two more. Mark wants to know. I'm thinking about making a portal gun with PVC pipe, but I'm don't really know much about how to do it.
There's a lot of books that you can get on how to do things,
Yeah.
and videos on how to build things.
But the pipes on that would be great to make out of PVC tubes.
right.
Yeah.
Pipes.
As a
Yeah.
base, and you could literally foam fabricate the dome pieces around
Mhm.
it by just making patterns.
Yeah.
You know,
Very similar to the way Ted did his helmet video.
right? Or shoulder
Yeah.
piece,
Or a shoulder
Yeah,
piece,
same
yeah.
same thing. You kind of and you have to wing it, R&D it, kind of play as you go.
You do, and that's the great thing about foam. It's so cheap, you can cut it up, doesn't work, throw it away, try it again. But you're right. For PVC, I would say PVC pipes and fittings for most of the main body barrel part.
Yeah, and that bigger stuff is usually in, like, if you go to Home Depot, it's like it's the irrigation section.
Yeah.
Where it's where you get all the really big fittings that are not the little dinky your house stuff.
Totally. Let's see here. Thank you for the question. This next one's from Brian. Hey guys, I've been taking commissions here and there for a while, and I'm finally confident enough in my work I can start advertising it and really trying to build my client base. Any tips on getting your name out there and promoting yourself?
That's a question for you, bro.
This is a good question.
I think Bill's got more followers than any of us.
Yeah, he-
No, I win the Instagram war.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you do. I lose at everything.
If you have a day job, keep it for as long as possible so that you can afford to say yes to a lot of projects. That's what I would say.
Yeah, the second you don't have a day job, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
And if you get screwed on
it's
a
tough.
payment for a commission, you're
Yeah.
screwed.
Then you're really
Yeah.
gonna screw.
And then you're waiting for it.
So
If
say,
you ever get it.
when I started getting out there trying to build out my client base, I did lots of projects, finished them, published them online. I ran a blog with how-tos on how I built the project, so that the commission, I was getting paid for the commission, but I was also gaining credibility on my blog. So that project was doing two things for me, and as well as being a piece for my portfolio. And that's kind of how I made a name for myself, sharing that information.
Yeah.
I also started a YouTube channel. I ran the blog, and I did a lot of projects for people for free while I had my day job, and I could afford to do that.
And in return, he had a lot of cool things to show. You have to have stuff to show. Beautiful pieces, everything, photograph everything you have and show off what you can do. And then people say, hey, that's really good. And then they'll definitely look at the quality of your work.
I would also
Yeah.
say be really open, especially in our community of making props and stuff.
No
Now-
secrets.
Yeah.
That's the norm now. Like you got to be willing to share what you're doing. Don't pretend you know more than other people, even if you do.
Bill's oversharing right now. He's not wearing pants.
No,
And Yeah, and then and be professional. Be someone that's easy to talk to and reach and
Professional. Right after I say the
and wear
no
that
pants.
stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that's
You'd be surprised how many professionals
that
don't wear
are mutually exclusive things.
Yeah, and then what I always say to people is be the kind of person that you expect in other people. So if you want help from people, be helpful.
Yeah.
If you want people to share information, then you should share information.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. And always be willing to go the extra mile for anyone that does need help from you and expect nothing in return.
Yes.
And learn to communicate really, really well.
There you go.
Yeah. Excellent.
One more question. This is not a question, but it's from my buddy Eric over at Core Geek Props. He says, "Oh, I can't believe I missed most of this. Just wanted to say hi, and you guys were awesome." Thank you, Eric. You're awesome. If folks can go over to Core Geek Props on Facebook and see the cool Lady Elf daggers he just made. Those are awesome.
And he's actually, we're talking about like molding
That's
stuff made in foam. He's done a bunch of that.
Yes, I've seen it's great stuff. Yes.
There you go. That's it. We're done. Thank
We gotta get back to
you.
work.
We do have to get back to work. And Frank said something about pizza.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so awesome. With a cold beer.
Yeah.
Cold
I got
beer.
He's got beer in the fridge.
Beer in the fridge. What are
I'm
we doing
never gonna
here?
leave.
All right. Hey, everyone.
You've been saying that every night, and you leave before anyone.
It's true. I bail.
All right, cool. Thank you, everyone who showed up this week. Thank you, Brittany, my wife, for getting everything set up. I hope she's having fun on her little break with her family.
Thank you, Sam, my girlfriend, for putting up with me being away and working for 6 weeks with no days off.
There you go. Thank these guys, for being here. Thank you, Frank,
guys.
for hiring me and paying me
thanks.
eventually, I hope.
You paid at the end of the week.
All right.
Yeah.
Yay!
Wow.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks so much.
It's been a great show. Everyone, we'll see you next week.
Goodbye.